The Luton Town fans are not happy. Even the draw against Swansea is not enough to pacify them. We were effing awful, says Bobby. Terrible. What's our identity? What do we even do on the training pitch? Do we train to give the ball away after 2 passes? Is our game plan legitimately to pass to Moses so he can kick an aimless ball down the wing? Are we really that bad? Well, to answer that question, we've got Mark back, Sam back, and welcome on his debut, Lewis. Sorry, Lewis, we're joining you at such a downbeat moment of the fan base, but you're very welcome. Drop us a subscribe if you haven't done this already. Mark, let's kick this off.
Why do we start with me?
Because you're the most positive person I know. So I know if we start with you, we can only go. We can only go downhill from there rather than uphill. Even you though, Mark, are you finding this team, this setup, the play harder to defend each week?
I am. I mean, Swansea we can't blame the conditions Saturday because Swansea just like 70% possession. They controlled it, and even when we scored, I like to give Elijah credit because that came as a result of our passing. Yes, it was their mistake, but we created that. But unfortunately, it's another game where we just didn't get control of the midfield. We just didn't look as if, we just didn't, like, as soon as Elijah nearly scored a second to go 2-0 up, then the rest of the second half was just awful. And I think Swansea showed what you can do when you pass the ball, and not for the first time we had to be saved by Thomas Kaminski.
Yeah. Lewis, welcome to the show. Let's get your view on this particular tweet, if that's okay, from Dan Ashby. Thank you, Dan. Edwards is once again not using his bench correctly, only bringing on Brown and Anderson. Chong is far too attacking. I'm not sure. Taylor, Pelly and Woodrow he doesn't trust. Johnson and Nelson not ready. And Lewis, I want your view on this point. We are just delaying the inevitable at the moment. Luton board need to make the decision. We know Sam is clearly Edwards out. We know Mark is getting towards that point, even though we won't get into verbalize it. Where are you at?
I've been wanting him gone for a very long time now. I knew from the first couple of games something just wasn't right. I think losing the games which we did in the Premier League, I think has instilled like a losing mentality amongst the group. And someone said to me at the start of the season, you get rid of majority of your squad, or you replace a manager when you get relegated. And if you look at all the teams that got relegated from Premier League, Championship, League One, League Two, they either got rid of their squad or got rid of the manager, and we didn't do any of those things. So that losing mentality is still there, and I think we now just need a complete reset and bring someone in new with fresh ideas. Whatever he decides to do, whether he continues playing the same formation, I just think it needs someone different, a different voice that will hopefully change our season.
Cheers for that, Lewis. It's a great point. Sam, can they afford to sack him though?
I think we can, just because there's a risk if we keep him that we could go down to League One.
How serious is that risk? Don't forget we've got Plymouth, Oxford, Derby, Portsmouth, QPR in this league. If you won't finish top half, you keep him. Surely, but you're not going to go down, are you?
Plymouth beat us. Oxford drew to us. I don't think we've played Derby yet. We drew to Portsmouth. We're not exactly beating all the teams around us.
Okay. We need to shout out Kaminski, though. Let's have a bit of positive here, Sam, because is he the single reason that you're not in the relegation zone?
Probably is. He's a really good keeper, and we're lucky to have him because we've had a lot of dodgy keepers over the years, but ever since he's come in, he's reliable, makes important saves. He saves shots that he shouldn't be saving, and yeah, he's quality.
Absolutely. Our defence is like a sieve, says Spidey Puts. If it wasn't for Kaminski, we'd be in the relegation zone. Mark, what about this one from Andy here? Says the formation doesn't work. We're being hammered in midfield week in, week out. Everything about us is laboured. We don't look like a team at all. Whether people will like it or not, we are heading for relegation. Do you agree with the formation part here?
I'm not on my own in that I think we look more solid when we play 4 at the back. I think that the 5 at the back works well when we've got Alfie Doherty, who basically his assists and what he gives us as a win back. But when we struggle with the Mari Bell's injuries, and he's our most naturally left-sided player, and when Alf is out injured, I sort of feel it negates the playing 5 at the back, because to me, whether people agree, 5 at the back is where you're getting your win backs to push forward, but they're not doing that. And in the occasions we've played for, we've just looked more solid. You get that bit more security in the middle. And I think Swansea was the ideal time we could have done that, because Swansea play a 4-3-3. And if we went like for like against Swansea, maybe, I mean, we've played the top 3 possession-based teams in the league. We've played Norwich, we've played Leeds, and we've played Swansea. But I just thought if we went light for light, we might have been able to sort of get more of a foothold in the second half to try and create something.
Okay. Please let us know in the comments what you think of this. We don't want this to be a Rob Edwards out discussion. We know that's the same on every Luton podcast. I mean, we try and find the positives where we can, but it is, I mean, Luton's a cracking club. It's definitely should be in the Championship at least, but it's hard even for a neutral to watch. I mean, when I watch the highlights, it doesn't seem as if there's much love at all for anything going on at Luton. However, here's one positive, Lewis. At the start of the season, people were on Adebayo's back. He's obviously come forward with issues that have been going on with him. So how pleasing is it for you to see him now start a bit of a spree? We'll call it the start of a spree, hopefully.
I'm going to turn this in from a positive to a negative, unfortunately. It's great seeing him score, of course. There's no denying that. But that's the issue. It's just him scoring. It's just him having the opportunities. You look at his striker partner in Colton Morris, who last time in the Championship scored 20 goals. I looked at the stats. In the last 3 league games, he's had 1 shot at goal. That is absolutely ridiculous. And that all comes from the way we are playing and how we're trying to attack. And I'm just lost for words, really. It's getting to the point where it's just like, why we're not making the right decision now in making a change. But look, Elijah, at this level, he's so unpredictable. I just wish others around him were having more opportunities, because it's just him having the big opportunities. He should have scored a lot more goals. But, it isn't, of course, it is nice to see him, firing.
Yeah, I did see one tweet that says, "Well, of course he's starting to score. We're getting to the transfer window." Very cynical view to take. Sam, let's talk about Mengi for a second. Taylor Mengi, who's come out obviously with an update on his fitness. The knee injury, we've seen pictures from the hospital bed as well. Everyone thanking him and wishing him well. Please help me understand why some Luton fans were a little bit perplexed with this one.
I don't understand why he didn't have the surgery in the summer and wait a few months to miss the start of the season and then come back. Him playing the start of the season, doing the whole pre-season with a dodgy knee or something, and then choosing to have the operation is just very. It just screams a bit of screams incompetent to me. Like, it says he's in his hands, but surely they should have advised him to have this operation.
Okay.
Mark, thoughts on this one?
It is a bit odd, but I mean, Rob's come out today and basically said we can only advise. I've never heard this before, but he said we can only advise a player that he needs an operation. We can't force him to have the operation. So Mengi's decided not to have the operation, and obviously there's been lots of comments during the first part of the season about Mengi. There was the transfer that didn't happen on transfer deadline day. But yeah, it's an interesting one that it's the player's decision, not the club's decision. But at the end of the day, the club are paying him. He's employed by the club. But it sounds like it's his decision not to have the operation. And obviously something's happened in training. I don't doubt that something hasn't happened in training. Something's happened. It's almost like the final thing that he's been trying to manage it for months and months. He hasn't been the player he was last season. Last season was just incredible, and how much of that is down to the injury, we don't know. But yeah, it's just and once again, we're now in a situation where a couple of weeks ago the injury list was looking a bit more promising. We had people coming back, and now Mengi we're not going to see for several months. I'm hopeful Burke's going to play tomorrow night because he's our best defender. And then we've got Bell out, and we've got Doherty out for another month or so. So once again, we're back to the same situation. We're scratching around for fit defenders, which I've digressed away from the whole Mengi story, but yeah, that's my take on it.
I think Edwards has said Burke is missing tomorrow as well. So
right, okay,
right.
More good news.
Well, I've got some really good news for Luton fans watching this. I mean, we're recording this before the Stoke game, but it is Stoke. And of course, we talk to all 24 clubs. Now, Stoke fans are even more on the floor than you guys are. They have been starved of success for years. They're sick of their new manager already. Defensively, they are a shambles. So they are not looking forward to coming to you guys. This should be a chance for you to just get a couple of goals and just lift the spirits, shouldn't it, Lewis?
Well, we didn't exploit Swansea's weaknesses, which was playing a high line and using pace and getting balls in behind. We didn't even do that.
Yeah, Swansea are a good team, though.
I know, but when you look at all the goals which Swansea have conceded this season, it's all been because they either play up from the back and make mistakes, which resulted in one of our goals, and then they play a high line and allow teams to play balls in behind, and they use their pacey players and to exploit. You look at Stoke's weaknesses; they are not good in the air, which is absolutely crazy for a Stoke side who have been known, all those years in the Premier League for being, great in the air. When you look at the stats for these defenders, they don't win many battles. So for a Luton side that loved going long and playing the ball into Elijah and Morris, you think, right, this is the perfect game. But it's only a perfect game if we actually put the ball into the box. If we're going to be losing the ball in possession and not actually getting into the attacking half, it's going to be a long afternoon. But with us pushing forward and trying to get this win, I can imagine Stoke just counter-attacking and winning. I can't see us winning.
Okay. If the Stoke fans were here, they'd be laughing at that suggestion.
Screams of a 0-0 to me.
Okay. Yeah. We're talking about set pieces then, moving away from this. Set pieces are being discussed in football all throughout the land because of Arsenal's dependency on them. So we thought we'd have a chat to you guys about how important set pieces are for Luton. Norwich in particular want to sack their set piece coach this week because they are at the second bottom of the set piece table. You guys, however, here's some more good news for you. If we look at the number of set pieces or goals scored as set pieces, you are fourth. So it's not all bad, Sam, is it? What do you put that down to?
I think we are quite good at set pieces, to be fair. We've got a lot of tall players who could attack the ball, like McGuinness, Morris, Adebayo, although they haven't been doing I think we're not doing as well as from set pieces as last season, but it is still one of our strengths and one of the only ways we tend to score.
Okay. Question for you. We're going to ask Mark at the end of the video to name the best ever dead ball deliverer for Luton. See if you at home can predict the name he's going to give. And Lewis and Sam, you can join in as well. But Mark's knowledge has significant years on you, saying it politely.
Just politely saying I'm old.
The FA Cup draw was made, of course, last week as well. Mark, were you happy with the outcome of that, or did you prefer a ground you've not been to before?
One word, no. I like you said, and we've done the Premier League grounds last year. I just wanted to go to a new ground, just have a new experience. If we weren't going to get a home game, so to go to Forest hasn't. If you think what they're doing, they go to Man United and Liverpool and win, and now we've got Morgan Gibbs White and Chris Woods. It's like, yeah, it's going to be a fun afternoon.
At least you get a 3:00 kickoff on a Saturday. There's been some ridiculous kickoff suggestions made for other games. So there's one positive. You can have a good day out in Nottingham. It's not a bad town centre there for us. A few beers, eh, Lewis?
Well, it's one reason to go to Hooters, that's for sure. So we'll certainly be making a trip.
Okay. I've not got paid sponsorship on this yet, so we can't go into brand names. Or other bars are available. Right. Who's the best fans to visit Kenilworth Road this season? That's our last topic for debate this year. Oh, sorry, this year. This episode. Sam, who are the best away fans?
I haven't been to Kenilworth. I've been to a few times, but not as much as regularly. So none of them have particularly stood out. I guess Burnley fans were quite good, but they were winning 4-1, so they would be.
Fair enough, Mark.
Well, I mean, just for the pure fact that we played Sunderland on a Tuesday night and they had to come down to Luton for a Tuesday, then you got to say yes, they did win, but fair play to them. And we've got Sunderland away on a midweek as well. So, yeah, Sunderland, fair play to them. They came down, made some noise, took the points home.
Okay. Lewis?
I'll go with Swansea recently, with the conditions, they were told really not to travel and they still travelled in their numbers and they still made a lot of noise throughout the game, in a game which was, well, from the home fans, dead. So I'm glad that, they were the only ones really making proper noise.
Right, brilliant. Like I said, if you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Final question this week then. Who's the best ever dead ball specialist for Luton Town? Sam and Lewis, do you have one in particular that sticks in your mind from your brief time supporting the Hatters?
I don't know
I'm
about.
Go with... Oh, go on.
I don't know about best ever. I thought because I haven't obviously don't have the full extensive knowledge, but Bree I thought was quite good for us at set pieces, corners, free kicks. He was pretty good.
Okay, Lewis.
I will go with Alan Sheehan, because on the basis of, I think every time where he would score quite a lot of free kicks as well, and that's something which I haven't seen from Luton. We don't often score many free kicks, but him from corners, free kicks, outstanding.
Okay, Mark, school these youngsters.
Well, the most memorable, not the best free kick taker, but the most memorable free kick was the Derby survival stay up in 1990 with touch to Tim Breaker, who smashed it in from 35 yards. That's probably the most memorable free kick. But in terms of free kick takers, Radiantish, but more recently, George Moncur. I mean, the free kick against Portsmouth,
Yeah, I would say him actually.
Free kick at Fleetwood. I think he's probably got 3 or 4 in his locker for us. So I think George Moncur. I agree with Alan Sheehan as well. He always had a good free kick on him. So yeah, they're my free kick specialists.
Right. Did you match that? Let us know in the comments. So Mick Hartford was seen at the Charlton game this week. I'm talking to apparently the owners, so we'll watch this space, shall we, on that one? Any thoughts on what might be happening there?
Not again. We've already had him twice.
He's just been looking at players.
Third time's the charm. Right. So, see you next week. Have a good week. You'll beat Stoke. You will beat Stoke. Mark this word. See you.